digging into conflict, how to solve it. It's always a fun one, isn't it? So today I thought I'd just bring you a little something on conflict because if you're in sales, you're in real estate, you're going to run into conflict at some point in time, whether it be with your, operations team, agents, clients. Wouldn't make any difference. Could be your spouse. Wouldn't make any difference. If you're in business, if you're moving, if you're performing at a high level, the bottom line is you're going to run into conflict at some point in time. Definitely in your career, but more than likely just in your everyday life. And so the biggest thing with conflict is, you know, where we don't come out of the issue frenemies, where there's, as much as possible, there is a win-win. And a strategy that I use with conflict is um, it's this, it's basically a third person perspective, if you will. Some people call it the third principle, but essentially it is the two of you getting together, one party presenting their side. So if I have a conflict with you, I allow you to, present your case, if you will. Tell me everything there is about your situation, why you believe the way that you do, and then you shut your mouth and you listen, right? And then I get to have my turn. And the whole goal of this exercise is to work to a middle ground of resolution. Okay. Um, Hopefully it's win-win, but it doesn't always have to be win-win. And sometimes it just we just can't get there. It just can't. You cannot get to that. So I would say 90% of the time you can walk away with some, with a resolve that each party is satisfied with. Um, More than likely, Party A got most of what they wanted, Party B got most of what they wanted, and you kind of had a meeting of the mind. So the other thing it's good for is to realize that you just simply are not on the same page, especially if it's a team member. So in those cases, my experience has been most of the time when we find out that our goals and our targets are not in alignment, we're not headed in the same direction. Most of the time, that team member essentially will excuse themselves, and so whether that means they regroup, retool, or they simply head on to greener grass, whichever the case may be. But it can still be done in a very professional way. It can still be done in which both parties can walk away, mutually um, friends. And I had that happen with a team member several years ago, and we just couldn't get to that win-win. And actually, I would say we're probably better friends now than we were as teammates. And and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just different alignment. Things change. Life changes. So the best thing I can tell you is when you run into conflict, first of all, move on it quick. You want to get right in front of that thing as fast as possible, because two things happen if you don't. One, resentment builds up, frustration, and then two, this little ugly lady can show up, or guy, called gossip, and boy, that can derail the whole day, and or the whole team. And so with conflict, when you know there is a conflict, you want to head that off as fast as you possibly can. Get in front of that thing. Look at using the third principle. Look at using this third party view, if you will. Each person stating their case, coming together, having a meeting of minds, getting in agreement with one another. And again, like I said, 90% of the time, you can get the conflict resolution very, very quick that way. And each member, each party, it just gets you on the same page. And a lot of times, what I find in conflict, it's not even that there was a conflict; it was actually just a simple misunderstanding. Um, I may have not stated my position correctly and or where I was heading. B, they might not have, or neither one of us had understanding clearly of what the other one was saying. Now, for you married folks out there, this makes total sense to you. because sometimes your spouse says one thing and you are like on Mars as far as the understanding of that. So it is no different. It's just people, right? It's just people. It's just what we are. We interpret things differently a lot of times based upon the attitude and the circumstances that we're in at that time. And this is why that same page, conflict meeting resolution, if you will, is so important. So it is a fantastic Thursday. We are headed to the office to go crush this day. I hope you guys are having a fantastic 2022. It is the year. It is the year of growth and change, and it's whatever you're going to make it. But whatever you do, my friends, make it great.